Hey guys, let's take a look at the Euphoria updates that will release on August 7th when the Assassin's Creed collaboration starts. These Euphoria updates belong to Eternity, Marcus and Via. We're gonna start off by taking a look and breaking down the Euphoria of Eternity. This is gonna be her Euphoria update number 2, and what it says on rank 1 is: whenever an ally loses HP, you accumulate points of blood tide. When entering battle, you gain Blood of Immortality. That means at the start of the round you consume a certain amount of HP from all allies, and if blood tide has reached a certain amount of points, you consume a corresponding amount of points to rank up this Blood of Immortality. And Eternity increases attack based on her max HP. So yeah, let's all read this whole Euphoria update and then talk about it a little bit. Her rank number 2 Euphoria update says that when Blood of Immortality is at a higher rank than rank 1, I would assume you can rank this up to rank 3. So at rank 2, your incantation number 1 and number 2 grant additional Moxie to Eternity. So instead of accumulating 1 Moxie from using one of your incantations, you now would accumulate 2 instead. Her rank 3 says when Blood of Immortality is at high rank, your ultimate is always a critical hit and deals additional reality damage. Rank number 4 says at the start of the round, if Blood of Immortality has reached its maximum rank, you consume some blood tide and you cast an ultimate for free. Alright, so this is pretty simple, but let's go back and talk about it a little bit. So, when you, of course, whenever you join the battle, when you enter the battle, you gain something called Blood of Immortality, and all of your allies already lose HP, which accumulates points of blood tide. And you can rank this Blood of Immortality, this buff. You can rank it up whenever a blood tide has reached a certain threshold. And then you consume blood tide to rank this Blood of Immortality up, which also increases Eternity's attack based on her max HP. But more importantly, when you rank this Blood of Immortality up, you will make it so that your incantations number 1 and 2 grant extra Moxie to yourself. Your ultimate will always be a critical hit and deal more additional reality damage. Plus, you can consume blood tide. It will happen automatically, so that you cast your ultimate for free. All of this means that you kind of become a little bit more AP friendly, because you don't have to use your incantations anymore in order to accumulate blood tide. Eternity will accumulate blood tide now at the beginning of every single turn. She will then consume a little bit of this accumulated blood tide though to rank up her buff. And the faster you rank this buff up, the more benefits you gain from this, as I just explained, with additional Moxie. Your ultimate will be cast completely for free, and it will always crit, and it will deal more damage by default. So how good is this Eternity Euphoria update actually? Even though we don't know the numbers and we don't know the damage output, it doesn't matter, as we can tell what we have to tell, and that is a quite important piece of information here, and that is that if you have Eternity, you now definitely skip Sentinel. Before this Eternity Euphoria update, you could make an argument to pull for Sentinel. There were two different ways you could look at Sentinel. Either you skip Sentinel because you don't need to improve this Blood Ember team. It is, even without Sentinel and with Eternity, already the best team in the game. Why improve this? Let me rather spend my valuable resources onto improving my other teams so they become stronger and more consistent in clearing content. Or you could look at it like, this is the best team in the game. Sentinel is the best in slot for this best team in the game, and I want that. I want one of my teams to be as strong as possible. I commit here, so I will pull for Sentinel to make this Blood Ember team as strong as it could possibly be. Okay, both ways of looking at it would be reasonable. Now Eternity's Euphoria update changes that view, because now Sentinel is a 100% must skip, otherwise you waste your resources, because now Sentinel is not so much better compared to Eternity anymore that we could justify pulling for Sentinel, you know, because yeah, again, like, you will be pretty much broke after the version 2.8, after the second anniversary, and after Sentinel there's a character that is super valuable in terms of Sharon. So all these things combined, the second anniversary, Sharon, and now this Eternity Euphoria, make it so that Sentinel becomes a must skip, and that is very crucial information to take away here. On to Marcus's Euphoria update. That adds an effect to Persural. So this is a buff that is active constantly without you doing anything for it. And what it says is that whenever you would cast a rank 2 or 3 incantation, you would grant yourself an additional Moxie. All you have to do is play Marcus in the correct team, which you always would, and then you gain this effect that I just told you. Now there is an additional effect with her inside rank 1. What it says is, after an ally casts a high rank incantation, so after an ally casts a rank 2 or 3 incantation, then Marcus gains a buff, and at the start of every round Marcus consumes this, like, stacks of this buff. This is a buff that can stack, and at the end of every single round you consume stacks of this buff to generate one precast incantation from your incantation number 2. When you have enough stacks of this buff, then Marcus consumes stacks of this buff, I would assume all of them, to generate a precast incantation for his incantation number 1. So what it boils down to is that you generate precast incantations from your incantation number 1 and 2, but you have to cast rank 2 or 3 incantations with your allies to generate buffs for Marcus, which then can be consumed to generate these precast incantations. Cool. Her rank 2 Euphoria update says that Preparation Marcus that you would gain by using his ultimate now generates a high rank precast incantations from your incantation number 2. So yeah, that is not too big of an upgrade. What it does basically is, before, without this update, you generated a rank 1 incantation number 2 for yourself. Now this incantation will be rank 2, and that's pretty much about it. Rank 3 Euphoria update is about the debuff annotate or something like that. You can read it here on your screen. It's a debuff, and she inflicts this onto an enemy at the start of every single round. And if this enemy would now take an action, right, would now attack, then it would grant Eureka +1 to Marcus. So, and now this changes to enemies in the debuff status no longer grant Eureka to Marcus when I take an action. Instead, when Marcus attacks an enemy that is in this debuff status, Marcus' excess critical rate is converted into critical damage, and she gains Eureka. So you deal more damage, and the Eureka gain from it is more convenient. And Euphoria number 4 says that, remember, first of all, that whenever an ally of Marcus casts a rank 2 or 3 incantation, Marcus gains a buff, and this buff can stack. And now, for every certain stacks of this buff that you have on yourself, you grant AP +1 to your team at the end of the round. So what this boils down to is that you want to use Marcus's allies as much as possible to accumulate as many stacks of this buff as fast as possible as you can. And then you grant AP plus to your entire team. How many AP plus depends on how many stacks of this buff you have. So this Euphoria is pretty interesting because it turns Marcus from the main DPS that she is right now into a sub DPS, because now you still want to use Marcus a lot, because you want to use these precast incantations that she accumulates by consuming this buff that she gets, a whole bunch, you know. But you want to use her allies, her teammates, more than herself, because you again want to accumulate this buff as much and as fast as possible. Like, that is really what she's all about now. So you want to use her allies more than herself, and that turns her into a sub DPS, which is really interesting. Now we can move on to Via's Euphoria update. And already remember that Marcus and Via are actually played together in the same team. So this team sees an overhaul and a huge buff here. So Via's rank 1 Euphoria says that after an ally is attacked, if the ally is below a certain amount of HP, then you cast a rank incantation number 1 with Via for free. That means you provide more stacks of sturdiness and more heal to your entire team for free. That is already incredible. It gets better at her Euphoria rank 2 though, because when entering battle, Via increases the amount that she heals based on her max HP. And when entering battle, Via gains additional Moxie, even more Moxie. So you will start the game off with 5 Moxie now, every time, and you can immediately cast her ultimate. Keep that in mind when we talk about her rank 3 Euphoria right now. Rank 3 Euphoria is to her Rosalka buff, which is really important. You apply this Rosalka buff to yourself by using your ultimate, and that is what Via is all about. It gets an added effect, and it says that the ultimates cast by Plant, Spirit, or an Intelligent, doesn't matter. You would always play Via in a team full of plant characters anyways. And then most of which are normally their ultimates, right, are normally considered rankless, but now they count as high rank incantations. Your ultimates that your team uses, they count as high rank incantations instead of ultimates. Why is that clutch? Because remember, every time one of Marcus's teammates uses a high rank incantation, she gains a buff that she so desperately needs and what she is all about, you know? It all comes together here. Then, when Via is in the Rosalka status, which she will always be, she can now gain her ultimate, which she couldn't before, because that would have been too busted. Now she can, now it's busted. At the start of the round, if Via is in the Rosalka status, again, which she will always be, she ranks up a random incantation. So she now also ranks up incantations, and she does that every single round. Absolutely fantastic. Then her rank number 4 Euphoria update says Song of Inspiration gets an added effect, grants Song of Passion to the target, and grants a Moxie to herself. Now multiple Song of Generosity or Songs of Passion can exist on the allied side at a time. Like, that is actually a crazy busted Euphoria update, if I'm real with you. Like, that elevates Via to a viable character. Actually, it makes her really good. Everything that she needs is here. She helps ranking up incantations. She heals way more. She does that for 0 AP. Her songs that she's all about, she applies these songs to your allies with her incantations. they can now be stacked on top of each other, which they could have never done this before. She is now guaranteed to always be in the Rosalka status, which she normally wouldn't be before, because when she is in that status, she couldn't gain her ultimate back. Now she can. So wow, that is actually crazy. That is a crazy Euphoria update. And if you combine this Via Euphoria update with Marcus's Euphoria update, which makes her a sub DPS instead of a main DPS, this team will be a force to be reckoned with. How good this will exactly turn out to be. Like, will this... It will not outclass the follow-up team. Be better than the ultimate archetype team. It will be a battle, but this will be better than the poison team, so it will be rank 6 at least. So yeah, all things considered, these Euphoria updates are not game breaking, not game changing, all things considered, but they are all very, very solid, you know. You can now keep Eternity in the Blood Ember team. You have no need for Sentinel anymore, right? Even before this Euphoria update from Eternity, you could already have made an argument to not pull for Sentinel. Now, this argument is actually pretty huge, and you should not pull for Sentinel now and save your resources, guaranteed. And then, yeah, the rank up team around Marcus, Via, Argus and Anali becomes much, much better. Yeah, we will see how this exactly turns out. This team now can make use of a new main DPS. Maybe Noir? We will see and find out. This will need a little bit of testing to find out how good exactly this is. I can tell you for sure that it will not outclass the top 3, even the top 4 teams will not be outclassed by this. There's no question about it. This will battle with the ultimate archetype team for rank 5 when it comes to the best teams in the game, and most likely it's gonna lose. So it battles with the poison team for rank 6, and this is where things get interesting. This is the rank that this team could actually take. If this is better than the poison team, rank 6th best team in the game is pretty cool. So if you already own Marcus and Via, then yeah, get ready to play this team together with Anali and maybe Noir. We will see. We will see. But it's probably gonna be that team exactly. It's gonna be Noir, Marcus, Anali, and Via. Probably. Not 100% sure about Noir. But yeah, that's it for the video, guys. I hope that was fun and informative. If you like Reverse1999 content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until next time, don't forget to join the Discord server. Take care of yourselves, have a great day, and we love this game.